The Asian Development Bank has cut most of its 2012 and 2013 growth estimates for developing Asia as a slump in global demand weighs on the region's powerhouses, China and India, and on its export-dependent economies. Developing Asia, which comprises of 45 countries in Central, East, South and Southeast Asia and the Pacific, is now forecast to grow at 6.1% this year and 6.7% in 2013. The figures are substantially lower than April estimates of 6.9% for this year and 7.3% for 2013. According to the bank's forecast, growth in India is expected to hit 5.6% in 2012 and 6.7% in 2013. As the country battles persistently high inflation, a large fiscal deficit and weaker consumption. China, which is also struggling with slower investment and demand at home, is expected to grow at 7.7% this year and 8.1% next year. The Manila-based bank said that the region should diversify its growth drivers and capitalize on its booming service industries to sustain domestic growth amid prolonged weakness in external demand. The services sector contributes nearly half of the region's GDP and employed 34% of developing Asia's workers in 2009. ADB says policies such as education reform, improved infrastructure and easier regulation would help lift productivity and promote inclusive growth in these countries. The empowered group of ministers on telecom, headed by Finance Minister P. Chidambaram, is scheduled to meet today to decide on the issue of charging existing telecom service providers a one-time fee for the excess spectrum held by them.
The empowered group of ministers on telecom, headed by Finance Minister P. Chidambaram, is scheduled to meet today to decide on the issue of one-time fee on spectrum held by existing telecom operators. The moot point for the debate is the quantum of spectrum. Under the old licensing regime, telecom licenses were issued along with a startup spectrum of 4.4 MHz. For any bandwidth beyond this, operators were issued spectrum but were not charged any one-time fee. Thus, the government allocated 4.4 MHz spectrum initially and another 1.8 MHz spectrum to operators on certain criteria. Some telecom players like Bharti Airtel, Idea Cellular and Vodafone were allocated spectrum without any upfront charges beyond the quantity mentioned in their contract. Thus, telecom operators had a total spectrum of 6.2 MHz. The issue also becomes important because government wants to raise money to contain high fiscal deficit, and the Finance Ministry wants to meet its target of raising 40,000 crore rupees through spectrum auction. In July, the cabinet had referred the matter to Egom for obtaining its view. Later in the same month, Egom on the decision was deferred till the outcome of presidential reference. Now, since the outcome of presidential reference is out, the government is free to decide on the issue. Sidhant Sibal's report, DD News, New Delhi.
The cabinet last month approved a major policy, the IT Policy 2012. The policy could change the landscape of IT in the country and looks to use cloud computing social network to empower the citizen of the country. More in this report.
Information technology has contributed significantly in changing of the Indian economy, society and governance. To give thrust to IT in the country, the cabinet last month approved the IT Policy 2012. The policy is ambitious and aims high. The policy aims to make at least one individual in every household illiterate and create a pool of 10 million additional skilled manpower in information and communication technology or ICT. It also aims to leverage ICT for key social sector initiatives like education, health, rural development and financial services to promote equity and quality.
There are some very good things in the policy, and it will certainly be of help to the IT sector across the board. We need to make sure that the implementation things happen quickly, fast and smoothly.
The other key salient features of the policy are to increase revenue of the IT and ITES or Information Technology Enabled Services industry from $100 billion currently to $300 billion by 2020. Expand exports from IT industry from current $69 billion to $200 billion by 2020. Enhance transparency, accountability, efficiency in government and to encourage content in all Indian languages. The policy also aims to improve fiscal benefits to SMEs and startups for adoption of IT in value creation. Usage of social networking sites and cloud computing has also been promoted by the policy. The policy emphasizes usage of social media to create platform for engagement between citizens and government. All in all, the policy aims at inclusive development of society through information technology. It aims at usage of IT for better governance, faster development and empowerment of citizens. Thus, the policy could form bedrock for the second IT revolution in the country. Sidhant, Sibal, DD News, New Delhi.